Okay, honest question. Who is getting sick and tired of third winter? Hey, what's up, interwebs? My name's David, and you are chilling with Schilling. Okay, little quick update. Quick little update. Little quick. Quick little. I have an update. It's been a week and a half, 2 weeks on my medication now. No, not even 2 weeks. It's been about a week and a half since I've been on my medication, and I am able to push myself further and further. I am doing really well on the artistic front. I'm pushing myself pretty hard to do a lot of shoots, to do a lot of networking, to start reaching out to people I never thought I would reach out to get some photo shoots done and things like that. So, all in all, things on that front are going great. Things on the financial front, a little bit less so, but still making do. Doing fairly well considering this time last month I was a potato, and now I'm actually starting to move. I'm starting to get around and actually working longer and longer and enjoying it more and more. So I'm having a great time doing that. It's just not going as quickly as I would have liked. But there again, I am also a bit of a workhorse, and I have to remember to take baby steps. My mental health depends on me taking baby steps and not pushing myself too hard, even for a day, because for me, if I push myself a little bit too hard, I don't give myself time to recover. If I push myself a little bit too hard one day, I don't take it easy the next day or anything of that kind. I get up and, well, I did it last time, so I push myself to make that limit, if not push a little bit further. That can be a good thing, not when you're very prone to burnout. Like me, I am very prone to burnout. I am what you call a workhorse, a workaholic, a work guy. Honestly, ran out of things to say. You get my drift. I work too hard and I work myself into the ground, almost literally a few times. So moderation for me right now is essential because I need to be able to do this long term. So yeah, so quick little update over. I'm doing all right. Medication's working well. Work is working well. My photography is starting to become next level, to the point where my equipment is what is holding me back, so I'm looking at upgrading some of my gear. Also, for those who know and have been following, I've been doing a mental health photo series since 2019, still doing it now, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Problem is, my circle of influence is starting to grow, which is wonderful if you think about it, but to be able to reach these people, to be able to shoot with these people and capture their story, it costs money. And no, I'm not going to ask you guys for more money or anything like that. I'm just saying it's going to take a little bit of time for me to be able to shoot some of the people that want to shoot with me just because of a financial hardship. I'm poor. So, yeah. Also, I can't remember if I mentioned it in my last video or not because my memory is terrible. I did mention it. I'm looking to host an art show based around mental health. The goal is to have conversations about mental health, or at least start them, and invite people who don't know what it's like suffering from mental illnesses or having any mental health challenges whatsoever. It'll be a great way to have people who don't struggle come out and try to understand a little bit more about some of the things that we deal with. Still looking for venues and locations and stuff on that. I will be looking into places like Toronto, obviously Brampton, obviously Kitchener, Waterloo. I don't know why I'm still always leaning over this thing, but I will be looking into certain places in those areas to try to run an event out of. So if you have a line on any places in those areas, Toronto, Brampton, Kitchener-Waterloo, Vaughan, places like that, if you have any lines on any sort of locations, please just leave it down in the comments below. And or you can reach out to me privately if you are able to. You can email me at chilling.with.Schilling@gmail.com. You can reach out to my private email if you have it. Also reach out to me on Instagram. That'll be downstairs, down in the comments below as well. So, main topic of conversation for today. Well, kind of don't really have one. The one thing I do want to mention or bring up is sort of some of the identifiers on how to help someone that you either suspect or that you know has some mental health challenges. First, never push somebody to speak. A lot of times we have a very difficult time relaying how we truly feel, mostly because we are feeling so many extreme emotions all at once that nothing really makes sense to us, especially in the moment. So asking us if we're okay is usually going to be met with a very cold, very quick response. Trying to force us to speak or to say anything is just going to get us to shut down. We shut down our conversation. We don't speak. A lot of times we actually get very quiet very quickly. So it's very, very important never to push anything. Also, you have to understand that we have different circles of friends. Some information you just might not be privy to. You might not be one of those people that we're willing to share to, and you have to be okay with that. We might give vague reasons as to why we're not feeling so well. Sometimes it'll just be, oh, I'm just having a bad day. Sometimes we might say something like, oh, I'm just really grumpy, or woke up on the wrong side of the bed. A lot of times you're going to hear, no, I'm fine. No, don't worry about it. I'm okay. How are you? We deflect a lot. So it's very important to understand that if we don't want to talk, we're not going to, especially during COVID when everything is fairly. Hold that thought. Just have to point out, this is a bit of an uncomfortable topic to talk about. It's fairly candid because I'm essentially I'm betraying my mental health right now. Not in a bad way, but I'm sharing with you my masks. I'm sharing with you my deflection techniques. All of the techniques that I learned over the years to hide. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I noticed my body was turned away and I was hunching, leaning over the microphone again, hiding my face. So even though I'm very open about my struggles and the things that I go through, and I try to be very candid, even now it's still very uncomfortable. That just kind of relates back to forcing us to have conversations. Right now, yes, you're watching this video on YouTube from quite literally all over the world. But for me, I'm just talking to a camera. And it's still pretty difficult. Back to your regular scheduling programming. So during COVID times, it's especially easy for us to hide because a lot of our conversations are done digitally, either through our phone, our computers, Facebook, Instagram, any number of social media platforms, more so now than even text and calling or in-person conversations. So be aware that if we don't want you to know something, there's no way in this universe you're going to find out. So the best thing you can do is just offer to be there. If we're having a bad day and you're with us in person, just sit beside us. It might be super uncomfortable for you, but that is exactly what we need. So even sometimes the smallest and easiest details, the simplest actions mean the world to us, mean just enough, exactly what we need in that moment. So don't push conversation. Don't force us to do or say anything. Just let us know that you're there and we will be able to open up eventually. It might be a few days after, it might be a week after, and be honestly, you might never know truly what was going on. But that conversation will happen if you're patient for it. Another thing that we do, or I do, is hide in plain sight. It was fairly easy for me. I enjoyed acting, I enjoyed being in the arts, and so it was very easy for me to put on this persona of a funny guy, an outgoing guy. Those are not who I was. I was super shy. So I invented this persona of this loud, crazy, goofy person. One, to make people laugh. I assumed the role of court jester. Part of that was actually a big part of that was because of the belief. I believe that there was two people or two types of people in this world: those who are meant to be happy and those who are meant to make them happy. And for the longest time, I fell under the second category, the tortured artist, so to speak. I felt like I was put on this earth to make others happy, even though no matter what, I could not be. So I invented this public persona, this wild and crazy and goofy guy who would do anything for a laugh, who put himself out there, and in seventh grade dressed in full drag, Britney Spears outfit. I'm talking the kilt, I'm talking pigtails with a blonde wig, the nice blouse that was tied up here. Oh yeah. And I sang in front of my entire school and their parents at our talent show. Feed me, baby, one more time. But, anyways, I did that so that I could control what people thought of me. Either you liked me or you didn't like me, but either way, you thought I was the weird, crazy, happy go lucky guy. And that was the persona I projected onto my super insecure self. So that became my big identity, and I loved it because I could hide myself. People, my friends, loved it because I always was there to make them happy and to cheer them up. I was Dr. Schill in high school. I was the psychiatrist friend that everybody could turn to reach out to for a little bit of guidance, a little bit of help and advice, no matter what. So when I reached out and I said, "Hey, I'm feeling pretty low today," people didn't believe me. Or when people would my friends would tell pretty girls that I thought they were pretty. I couldn't do it myself. One of the last times I asked a girl out in person, I almost blacked out. I had a full on panic attack. I lost my balance. I was losing my vision. My arms and legs all went numb. My heart was beating out of my chest. My throat was closing and I couldn't breathe. That's how bad I got when I tried to ask somebody out on a date. Still pretty much like that, but I'm medicated now, so it's a little easier. But, anyways, I would leave the situation, like literally leave. I would run, I would hide. I remember they went into a store and told this very attractive cashier at the store that I thought she was very attractive. Now, let me be very clear. My friends were very polite and had the absolute best of intentions. So let me throw that out there as well. It wasn't, "Yo, this guy thinks you're hot and he wants to bone you." Nothing like that or anything gross or stuff like that. They would walk up and they would say something. I mean, let's be real, I wouldn't really know because I was never around, but they would walk up to the girl, they would say something to the effect of, "Pardon me, I don't mean to be forward or rude, but my friend is a little bit shy and he thinks that you are very attractive." Most of the time, the girl would say, "Oh, really? What friend?" And they would point and say, "Mm, sorry for wasting your time. I would be gone. Flight response would kick in and pew, gone. So nobody believed me when I said I was shy or insecure. My whole point to these long-winded, tangented stories, in this case, is somebody says something, believe them. Usually when they say no, please don't, or don't, I'm shy, that's the start of an anxiety attack, panic attack. Their fight or flight response is kicking in and they're deciding what they should do. Quite honestly, my friends are lucky enough that they were my best friends. Otherwise, my fight response might have kicked in. But they were my best friends at the time, so obviously my flight response would kick in and I would leave the situation. If somebody says something to that effect, they're shy, they're not having a good day or anything very subtle, chances are it's an iceberg word, as I like to call it. It's a gentle, gentle, gentle word to politely describe the immense amount of feelings welling up underneath. So if we say, no, please don't, that's us getting to the point of leaving at a lot of times. We struggle with communication because like I said, I was having an anxiety attack so bad my throat was closing just by trying to tell a pretty girl I liked her and wanted to ask her out for a date. You put somebody like me into something that they don't want to do without giving us permission to say no. That's a hack I'll tell you about in a second. But if you don't give us that permission to say no, we are likely to say yes because we feel we can't say no. We were taught we can't say no by family or friends or a lot of times at my age it would be teachers or coaches, things like that. It was just no. So it's a big deal for us to say no in defense of ourselves. Or, in my case, if you're sitting across the table from me and you're chewing really loud, your mouth is open and you're still chewing really loud. If I can hear you eating soft bread and you're chewing really loud, I would rather leave the room and never, ever sit around you when you eat ever again than to ask you to politely close your mouth, because I find that a little bit too rude. It's weird, but it's a hard thing for us to do, to stand up for ourselves. Now, like I said, there's a weird hack. You can give us permission to say no. Start by giving us permission to say no. And don't assume that we're going to say no because you just gave us permission. If you say something to the effect of, hey, David, I'm going skiing. Do you want to come? Feel free to say no. I would be something to the effect of, I'd love to, but I haven't gone skiing since high school, so I will say no, but thank you very much. And that's that. For a healthy person, if you ask me a yes or no question, a yes or no answer is acceptable. But for somebody like me, if you ask me a yes or no question, well, there is no no. I will make up 1,000 excuses in my head. None of them will be good enough, and I will have to say yes. So people who force me into positions where I have to say yes, I just cut them out of my life. Especially if you know my mental health situation and you try to use that against me anyways. You are not the kind of person I want to have in my life. But yeah, I am looking at the time of this recording, and it is a long video. This is actually going to be a long video, and I apologize to those of you who like the short 10-minute clips, but this video I think I'm going to keep a little bit longer for the sole purpose of the importance of the meat of this video. Be sure, guys, to really kind of take to heart some of the things that I said. I've just shown you guys some of my most dear kept secrets on self-protection. so I can't use them anymore. It's a very vulnerable position for me to be in right now, but a very liberating place as well. Got less places to hide. Only choice now is to get better. That's going to do it for me, guys. If you've made it this far, amazing. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video, guys. Share it around a little bit if you can. Make sure to reach out to those of you guys that you think or that you know have some sort of mental health challenges. It is so important for us to hear from you, especially with things unlocking. There is an unbelievable amount of anxiety right now because things are opening up. For a lot of us, that's an amazing place. We're all great. We're excited to do it. For a lot of others of us, it's a very hard, and scary place to be in. And yes, I did mention myself both times because I am in both spots. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to things opening up here in Ontario, but at the same time, I am crazy nervous. So, yeah, that's gonna do it for me, guys. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget, tell your friends.